Hi there, thank you for joining. This video is to go over how to complete our Schedule E template, which is relevant if you have rental properties. So starting off on the left side, we have this general information section. The first thing you want to do is let us know what type of property you own. And single family residence is the most common of what we see. This is if you own an apartment or a house where an individual or a single family resides. There's also an option for multifamily residence. And this is if you have an apartment building with multiple units, vacation rental, and commercial. That's if you have a building that you rent to tenants for business use. Those are the most common. There's also land, royalties, and self-rental, but we don't see those very often. We will need to know the street address of the property, city, state, and zip code, please. We need all three. The purchase date, purchase price. If you had any other costs that went along with the purchase, like professional fees, legal fees, please include that there. It's to your benefit. Anything in a red you can skip, that's for office use. If you improved or renovated the property, please let us know how much it cost. And you can let us know if there's been multiple improvements over the years or one. It's up to you, and the date of the improvements, whether that happened when you bought the house or a few years after. The date placed in service is the date where you began renting the property. We'll need to know who owns the property and their percentage of ownership, whether you own it with your spouse or a sibling, or it's 100% under your name. And of course, the number of days that the property was rented. Jumping over to the right-hand side, here is where you'll indicate rental income and other income that you gained from January 1st through December 31st. If your property is in Israel, feel free to complete column F as it's in shekels. If your property is in America or another country, then please complete the template in dollars. These expenses are the categories that are allowed and will help offset your gross rental income to create a better tax result. If you don't see an expense and you want us to see if we're able to include it, please list it down here. Just make sure that for interest mortgage, we only want you to include the interest that was paid. We don't want the mortgage that was paid. Only interest. That's the only that's what we can use as an expense. The mortgage does not count as an expense. As far as legal and professional fees, if you were a client of ours last year, then we will include the price that you paid for our completing of your report. If you were with another firm or had other legal and professional fees, please include that on this line. And again, anything in red, that's for us to fill out. And lastly, other assets. These are expenses that will be depreciated. So it's not an expense that was an improvement or a renovation, and it's not an expense that falls into this section. It's more a large expense that is meant to last a long time. For example, if you bought a refrigerator for one of your units or a washing machine, you could include that here, the date placed in service, as well as the cost, and we will include it as a depreciation expense. So I hope this answers any questions. If you have others, please don't hesitate to reach out, and good luck completing the template.